Welcome to the First 30 Podcast. We're back with a special guest to discuss the new Minecraft spin-off, Minecraft Legends from Mojang. Does the wonderful humor and cinematic storyline make up for the brain-dead AI? And why are the devs holding out on tigers and badgers in vanilla Minecraft? Well, let's talk about it. Thank you for listening to the First 30. I'm your host, Chad Callahan, and alongside me are the mobs nobody ever votes for, Tim Harris.
Hello.
And David Marino.
I feel that one.
But today, we have a special guest mob that I absolutely voted for, Miss Tab, a.k.a. Tab Twice.
Hello.
Welcome to the First 30 Podcast. I think you're the second person we had as a guest.
Oh, wow. No
ever.
pressure, huh?
No pressure at all. But you're the first video guest because we just literally we're getting used to our oats on the video side of things, but so they can actually see you. But a little known fact about Tab is that she's actually both a original, I want to call you an OG Minecraft streamer because that's kind of where you started. Maybe not like OG in the sense of like when Minecraft started, but
right.
But your start at least. But you also are part of like SciCraft, which for anyone who doesn't know, do you want to kind of like talk about what SciCraft is and kind of the other communities that you're part of?
Oh, wow. Well, SciCraft is a technical Minecraft community. I was lucky enough to get invited to join them. I am not a redstone person, but I like to hang out with them and I help build things they create. I build and try not to destroy. Also been a part of a couple of different communities. 240p, I was on with Verified. Oh my gosh, I've done so many random things. But yeah, I used to do Minecraft full time. Not so much anymore. More variety anymore, including even cooking. We do cooking.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
I'm about to say, like, the people, or if they're watching right now, they'll notice that you're in your kitchen, which isn't by accident. That's because you've switched to like a cooking stream, which both me and Tim can appreciate because we're both like cookie type people. We enjoy cooking.
Very much enjoy cooking.
Yeah. Well, actually, last episode, Tim told us about Next Level Chef, which we won't get into because we got way too into it last episode. But
okay.
If you really like it, it's a Gordon Ramsay show. It's on Hulu. Highly suggest it, apparently.
All right, it's on the list now.
Just another thing to watch, right? But I'm glad to have you here. I'm really excited. I always have you on in the background while I'm working during the day. I enjoy hearing what you have to say, and the community that you built is fantastic. So,
thank you.
For anyone who wants to head over, is at Tab Twice on Twitch, and I'm pretty sure anywhere else, correct? Like on YouTube and things like that.
Yeah. Except on Twitter, somebody else had Tab Twice, so darn.
Bastards.
I think it's Tab_Twice. I'm not cool enough to have, I wasn't OG enough for that.
They stole it. But we have you here today because I thought this was the perfect opportunity to have someone from the Minecraft community on here because we played Minecraft Legends, which is a very different compared to what you'd expect a Minecraft game. I mean, we've seen Minecraft Dungeons, but like this one is even more so different than that one. I think Minecraft Dungeon was like a little bit easier to like make that parallel. This one feels a little bit out of left field comparatively to that one. But Tim, do you want to quickly take us through the story that we know so far of Minecraft Legends?
Yeah, it's extremely basic. Pretty much your piglins have decided they are going to come take over a parallel universe from the looks of things, and then you are recruited by what appears to be the guardians of that particular universe to come from your Minecraft universe and defeat those piglins, and then all hell breaks loose. It's pretty great.
All Nether breaks loose, yes.
Yes, there you go.
It's pretty great. Yeah, I think this is kind of great story to it. There's a few things that are vastly different. Like we were talking during, and it seems like this is very much so an alternate reality because there's quite a few things that are different. Yet at the very beginning in the cutscene, you see like what the traditional Minecraft, like very blocky, literal what you've seen before, and then it transitions to a very different style altogether, which is kind of interesting. So they're not leaving Minecraft behind. They're introducing it into this new game, which I kind of appreciate. And the humor, the humor in this game, it harkens back to like early Lego. Like David, you were mentioning how it reminds you before they start talking a bit.
Yeah, back when all of the Lego games were just like, oh, you know, before they started using the voice clips. You know, it's all very pantomime, slapstick type stuff.
Arguably the better Lego games, I think. Most of my favorite ones are early on.
With very few exceptions, everything what was the first one? I think it was Lord of the Rings.
Was it Lord of the Rings?
That first game they started talking. Everything pre-Lord of the Rings is probably the best of the Lego
Oh, I
games.
thought you meant Lord of the Rings was the first one that they did, and I was like, what? I thought Star Wars was one of the first ones, but I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm fairly certain Lord of the Rings was the first one that they just started using voice lines from the movie.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, that's kind of interesting. And then another thing, though, about this game in particular that I was kind of perusing through is that you can tell that Mojang has a lot of hope for this game. I mean, I don't know how much Minecraft Dungeons, like, people still care about that. Like, I feel like that was like a one and done. Like, they still, every time they do like Minecon, they're like, oh, hey, there's stuff from Minecraft Dungeons. And I'm like, okay.
I know a couple people that pick it up and play it still when they release new stuff. So, I mean...
Really? I mean, Tab, did you ever play Minecraft Dungeons at all?
Yeah, actually, I did. They reached out to me, and I was on front page of Twitch, and yeah, like it was pretty fun. Like they reached out to me and gave me copies of the game, and I played it, and I enjoyed it, and it was fun. If I had more time, I think I would play it more, but yeah, again, kind of like once you hit and I've done everything, it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'll wait for new content, and then there's things like this that come out or other things.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how often. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but I don't know how often they update Minecraft Dungeons. But this one, I noticed that they have a lot of what seems to be like monthly story campaigns. So I think they call it that, monthly story campaigns. So they're dedicating each month to have new campaigns beyond what your like the baseline story, which I think is already a smarter aspect. And there's like a multiplayer section. So there's replayability there compared to, I believe, Dungeons, which is just like again, one and done, and then wait for more content.
It kind of looks like they might allow for a community content as well. I was kind of poking around, looking through that stuff. Just under the tab where the lore campaigns are, the extra lore campaigns or whatever it's called. There's the monthly thing, and then there's like extra stuff there that makes it look like there might be community content at some point. I'm not 100% certain. That's all speculation, but there might be, and that's interesting to me. And I want to check that out. If that is a thing, this game has definitely got a lifespan.
But the graphics in this game are vastly different, like I mentioned before. Imagine Minecraft, but David pointed out when we were playing, like, but everything's cartoony and beveled. They're not as blocky. David, like, explain what you meant, because you spoke better than I could.
Well, for one, it's got the like that shader sheen over everything. Yeah. And they've actually, it's probably not a shader. This is probably art directed to look like this, but the water in this game is how I wish the shader water could look. Because it's always, you play Minecraft with shaders, and it's always, you have your Minecraft blocks with your Minecraft textures. Yeah. Just the lighting looks really nice with the shadows, but then the water looks super realistic. It's like
it is
real water in this
sky too.
Blocky world. Yeah, they use like 3D volumetric clouds and everything. It's like these two things don't mix. But this water, it's
not like the other.
It looks like a volume. It's not just colored blocks, but the ripples on the surface are pixelated. It looks, when things are moving around in it, you get little squares or even rectangles of concentric rings moving out over the top of the surface without getting that like realistic undulation that the shaders give.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'll have to pay attention to that again. But yeah, I guess I didn't really notice that the water. I mean, the water fit. Like it's like you said, it didn't feel out of place. The sky even fit in this game too. It looked just like what I imagine like a Minecraft sky would look like, even more so than what the Minecraft sky looks like in vanilla. So
and it just even like because everything has that. Well, at least the tops of heads and stuff have like that beveled edge.
Yeah.
That just cuts it off, and then the like facial animations and stuff are just textures that are changing or moving. It's not like bending or warping, like what's it, the Minecraft story mode.
Oh yeah.
Everything just like it's a thing, but it bends and warps or shrinks, or like the arms and stuff, they'll bend instead of just doing the like Minecraft puppet.
Yeah, puppet like
animation,
move up and down. Yeah, I know what you're
which
saying.
is actually I really appreciated in this is they didn't do that overly animated thing. Like bits and pieces will squash or stretch, but everything's pretty conjoined to like their arm is a stick.
It's more like a lean.
It can only move
it's
like
more
a
like
stick.
A slight lean that they might have. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It still feels like in the confines of the Minecraft character.
Yeah, because even like the villagers, when they're like hopping around panic, they don't, they're not
springy.
Like bouncing back and forth. They're just like,
yeah, they're really cute. I think that's actually the next thing I want to talk about is like the characters in this game, like the little creatures. They are adorable. Everything's like big head mode. First off, love that. I want more big head mode in like baseline vanilla Minecraft. If they can make a shader that looks just like Minecraft Legends, I would play the fuck out of it. It's so fun. But yeah, there's like the one thing though, I will admit, you do get like a bunch of character options. I think what was it, 8 options tab? I can't remember. It was 8 or 10.
Oh, at the start screen for yourself.
Yeah, I want to say it's like.
I think it's 8 or 10. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But they give you like a variety amount. Like, so it's like, some have helmets, some are, light skinned, some are dark skinned. So I think one's, the character you play, Tab, I think is based off of India, because I noticed that there's like a little gem in the middle of their head. And I want to say it looked like a turban or something. I might have the terminology a bit off.
Are those like 8 or however many it was, like, hard coded you pick from these characters? It's just kind of like randomly generated. You get this choice. You
get to choose from those 8 or 10 options, and that's it.
But it was just those 8. It's not.
Yeah, I do wish that there was more. As it's me, I wanted to see more customization. Maybe I can understand why you can't upload your own skin because like the animations, but it would be nice if there was like baseline customization in it.
The video that you had sent where we just like got the beginning to like get a head start on what this was going to look like. The person chose what looked exactly like the character you had, but had different colors.
Really?
Yeah, theirs had red hair.
Oh, maybe there is customization and we haven't gotten that part yet.
Well, there is a marketplace. Had you seen the marketplace yet?
Oh, that's right. There is a marketplace.
There's a microtransaction aspect to the game, which is mildly annoying considering the game at its cost anyways. Let's be real. And I saw that because I was like, oh, so now I can buy all these different skins of different animals and stuff. I get it, but come on.
It looked like it has in-game currency, but I don't know what that looks like, or if you just have to purchase it to buy stuff in-game.
I did see that you can purchase it. I haven't earned any yet, but that was something that I saw, and it was like, buy this many coins for this much, and I was like, oh, this is going to have transactions and such, so.
That's a little weird. I mean, I guess I'm not too upset because it's all cosmetic, so it's like it's not like it's truly transforming the game necessarily.
Not a pay to win kind of thing.
Yeah. Which I'm usually okay with. It's no different than like in Fortnite with all their skins and things like that. It's not like it ups any value to what you do. Granted, they make out like bandits. They even got sued for it. How easy they make it, but
it's fair.
Mojang, they've done pretty good by me, so I'll let them collect a little bit of my coin if they want on that side. But at the same point, like I don't know how many people are gonna buy this. I mean, unless they plan on really pushing that again, the idea of replayability. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of having that marketplace other than like in the initial gameplay and maybe the 4v4 on that one. But they do have multiple mount designs too, which is something I'll quickly bring up, is because originally you're pretty much always on a mount in this game, and you start off with a horse, which is, just runs around. It's about the baseline speed, but you can also get a dodo, which is, I'm assuming it's a dodo. They don't say it's a dodo. It looks like a dodo. I think you said it in your stream tab, and that's where I'm getting dodo.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, but if you find one of those, you can glide and jump higher. Then there's tigers, which I wish were in base game, that can run faster. And then there are beetles, which climb walls. And who knows, they might add more.
Are the tigers not base game?
In vanilla, you mean?
I thought you meant in this game. I was
sorry,
like, what?
no, I guess I should change my terminology to vanilla. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. I'm just glad that the mounts actually have like something besides cosmetic changes. I like that a lot. That's really cool.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's the one thing about this whole game is that like everything has a purpose. Like I don't think there's a single thing in this game that doesn't have a unique purpose. Outside of just like the looks of things, like anything you can control has a reason why you can control it, from what I can gather, which is kind of nice. And like I said before, they all have like those cutesy animation faces, which I think is really cute. I just love it so much. And it's not out of place. It still works within the realm of reality of what they've already established in real Minecraft. So. But yeah, there's new mobs, like I mentioned with the mounts. But there's one in particular that we saw that I was really upset that isn't in vanilla, and that's badgers. Give me badgers, Mojang. Put badgers in the game.
Well, that was because you were talking about the badgers. We saw the badgers, and then someone noticed the like gopher or meerkat thing.
I think it's a beaver.
You thought it was a squirrel at first.
Squirrel, beaver, meerkat, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was. But I wonder if
Rodent.
they did that just to add some variety to the different biomes that you're going through.
Maybe.
Or if they're using it as a legitimate testing ground. Like, how are people going to react to these different animals, and are we going to put them in, Java or Bedrock, whichever one you're playing?
Give me badgers, Mojang. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Honey
I want.
badgers.
Honey badgers in particular.
Honey badgers.
And then you know what they could do? So you know how
fight snakes?
Like, there's the wild version of the animal, but then you tame it and it becomes like your pet.
Yeah.
For the badgers, after you tame it, it should just stand in place and do the dance.
Oh my god.
Badger dance?
Badger.
You don't remember the Weeble stuff, badgers? Yeah. That would be hilarious.
I'm old. I get it.
No. I just do not remember things very clearly. But wow, yeah. Other things about the world, actually, Tim, do you want to explain like the things in the world, like the villages and things like that? Maybe like the world overall and what we can see.
Sure. So there's a bunch of basic structures that just kind of exist within the world. There's like your hub, which is basically a ruin that you can upgrade as you go through the game, and then villages. They don't really serve a purpose outside of getting attacked, from what I can see.
You have to save them.
Yeah,
right?
They gather stuff for you, though.
Do they?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So I was bad and I didn't keep going to the villages, but that chest that you see whenever you save the village, it does say that to come back periodically because the villagers gather things for you.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Very useful. So the more villages you save, the more likely that you'll get stuff. So that's like an added incentive to go to those villages.
Yeah, and then eventually I think you can upgrade, and there is an upgrade where you can go to one village and gather from all at once. Oh. Eventually, like you can upgrade to that so you don't have to go to each one individually.
That's actually really nice. Because I was thinking while you two were going through that, like, it's nice and it's Minecraft to just kind of like roam around this open world, but I didn't really see any point to just having it be a smaller area that just loads in every battle, to do the thing. But if saving the villages then increases your resource pool, that's a really neat way to incorporate the open world.
It also gives you a fast travel spot, I believe. So when you save them, you open that as a fast travel spot as well. So a couple incentives, I guess, to actually
and then I could see
that.
late game needing to defend more than one village at a time.
Ooh,
maybe.
Yeah.
And then having to move quickly. That actually could be, if they don't do that, I mean, that could be something that they could add in maybe in like the those monthly campaigns that you're
Well, they give
mentioning.
you the option to like build walls and stuff on the villages, so I assume that's going to come into play at some point. Because it's not really necessary from what we've played. But
and there were the one like tutorial where you like build a workshop to fix the well. There were other buildings, so you can potentially increase the yield or defense of the villages on the fly.
Yeah, you can upgrade the walls and add. There were other defenses I haven't messed with yet, but you can upgrade the towers, and so eventually, probably these villages could sustain, certain attacks. Maybe, and like you said, that would be fun to kind of bounce.
Yeah.
And check on them. How are you doing? How are you guys doing? You doing okay?
You guys
over here?
good? All right, I'll leave
Need
some
anything?
troops here.
You good?
Yeah. But they also had the corrupted areas in the world. It's as if the Nether of Minecraft is taking over, and
Which is neat.
It's really cool. So like, there's instead of water, it's lava, and it's all that netherrack. I also call it netherite. Netherrack is around, and very cool. So
yeah,
there's
they did a good job incorporating like quite a few different biomes into the actual map itself, which is cool. And then each one has its own specific resource yields, which is nice. Like they really thought about what they were doing when they were creating the overworld, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And real quickly, if we want to talk about the map real quick, is like when you open the map, and you could, like I said before, you could fast travel, but also there's the different biomes in there that we mentioned, but it shows you which resources in those biomes if you hover over them. So if you need coal, you're like, oh, where's some coal? Oh, there's coal in this biome. I need to go there. Oh, there's diamond in this biome. I need to go over here. And each resource is valuable to a different either mob to create or a different type of structure to build. So like having as many as possible is always like an added value to it. So it's pretty great. And then also, we'll get a little bit into this, but like just the different types of allays that you get, which help you collect. So it's a lot of it's very exciting. I think it's they did a pretty good job with that specific part of the game. But I quickly want to bring up a little bit of the user interface. I mean, it's pretty intuitive. It's basic Minecraft kind of, openness. The first time I opened it, I do want to in Mojang, they're really good at this kind of stuff. So I could see why they did it. And I actually applaud it. David might think differently because he hates this kind of stuff. But when you first open it, it has text to speech immediately on. It's the first thing you see. It opens it. It opens. I'm trying to defend it, David, before you say anything. Opens it and allows people, if they can't hear well, it allows or can't see well. I'm sorry, allows them to do that.
No, I've had games before where who is it? What was Naughty Dog? When like you first launch the game, there's just a box that has all of the accessibility options, and I think like some basic audio stuff, like screen calibration or whatever, before like the main menu even pops up. And like the first one is text to speech. You just turn that off real quick because I don't need text to speech. But the problem I have with stuff like that is where there is a cutscene or maybe even a little bit of gameplay before you get to the main menu as like a prologue, and that stuff is on by default. And then it's like, well, this is just really irritating and distracting while I'm trying to play the game.
There is a cutscene, but there's no... It didn't do anything before it did that. I mean, the thing about this is like the cutscene is very visual. It's there's no talking or anything, so it's like, although it's text to speech, so you think that, I guess there's no text, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I was trying to think of why that would matter, but yeah, there's no text in it, so it doesn't really matter at the beginning of that, so that's probably why it doesn't open up like that. But yeah, I like the fact that they're including that at the beginning, and again, like David said, it's the first thing you see, so you can just click that off. There's other accessibility options as well. I think there was audio, and you can go through. It had a lot, and I mean, if you're playing on PC at least, a lot of settings to go through to optimize or whatever your game. So I think you'll be happy to know like you can dial everything to exactly what you want as far as the settings go, which is really nice. I think there's some games that are very lacking on that front, and it irritates the crap out of me, but 100% love that for this one.
I will say text to speech. Auto text to speech, not as annoying as auto jump automatically being on in Minecraft, which they fixed. That's not a thing, but that drove me crazy. Sorry. I just had to.
I'm 100%
that used to drive
with
me
you.
crazy too. It was the worst.
Did they take that out?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not in because the masses, we were like, please, no one likes this. No one wants this. No one needs
And I never remembered where it was. So I'm like looking through the site. Please stop. I hate it so much.
Auto jumping everything. What is happening?
I keep auto jumping into skeletons. It's the worst.
Into the lava. Yeah,
into the lava.
Really, really bad when you're mining.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yes. Anyway, sorry. I just had to say that.
Please. Yeah, 100% agree with you in there. But I quickly want to just round this the presentation out with the sound and the music, which I got to say, is very good. And not only is the background music, like the epic battles are great, all the humor and like the little, things that are going on in the storyline, great. The voice acting is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with all like the main three characters that they have voicing everything. And they also like talk to you throughout to kind of continually teach you about the game. And they're all really good. But the one thing I'm really impressed by is that they have the allies respond to different melodies, like just like in Minecraft, where you can kind of do the note block thing. And those melodies are very distinct in between like every little thing that you tell it to do. Like if you build a specific building, it has a different melody than like if you are summoning golems and things like that. It's very cool. Like to have these like it's such a tiny attention to detail that makes so much sense. And they put it in there, and I think it's not only just world building, but it's kind of pleasing to the ear. Like I think they did a really good job. I don't know if anyone else has any other thoughts on it.
Since you're talking about music, I just remembered what the little like rally noises remind me of.
What is it?
It's Tearaway. Whenever you hit like a checkpoint or you do something in Tearaway, it makes a very similar little like and like stuff like that, like when you're rallying the flag. It was Media Molecule's PlayStation Vita game.
Oh, okay.
You were this little like paper craft guy, and you were like going around doing stuff.
This is why we have David on the show, because he has these weird little tidbits that no one in the world probably knows. Like, who played PS Vita? David, that's it.
Here, it was very popular in Japan, okay? I don't want to hear anything about...
Oh, you're ahead of the curve. Okay. But David, actually on that, you have some favorite tidbits that you wanted to share.
I do. We've actually talked about some of them already because they're like just things that popped up as we were playing. But, so this game obviously made by Mojang and published by Microsoft. But Blackbird Interactive has a co-development credit on this. I'm not quite sure in what capacity they were working on it, but they were also responsible for Hard Space Shipbreaker, which is a salvage tear apart spaceship game.
Where is it like spooky?
You go through. Nope, it's kind of just imagine Viscera cleanup detail, but instead of janitorial, you're like an auto wrecker.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in.
But in space, obviously.
Is there
I
co-op?
actually introduced. Yeah, is there co-op? Do we know?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We should try, because I introduced Tab to Viscera Cleanup Detail.
Yeah.
It's
we had
so
some
much fun. We need to do that again.
Yeah, we need to do another one. I mean, it's a long game, but definitely very fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick one of the smaller maps. You don't have to do the big.
True.
And then, okay, so we've already talked about how the overworld, they all have like this kind of new art style, smooth beveled edges and everything. But this is the first game in the Minecraft kind of like universe to do that. Regular Minecraft, dungeons, story mode, they've all featured just the regular hard edge block art style. So this is something different for Minecraft.
They're breaking the mold, literally.
I have to ask, is that like something that you just caught on your own, or did you read that somewhere?
Well, I had to do a little bit of looking because I wasn't sure. I noticed the beveled edges and wasn't sure if this was the first time to do it, so I went and had a look, and it appears to be. I mean, maybe I missed some small game where they've tried this before, but while we were playing the game and I noticed that our homeworld didn't do that, that was the first time I noticed that.
Okay.
Interesting.
That is such a crazy catch.
That's a good catch, yeah.
David, attention to detail here.
And then one last one we've kind of already talked about already is the game does feature microtransactions for Minecoin, I'm guessing to be used in the marketplace. And to give something for the game positively about that, their largest pack is only
drum roll, please.
$49.99.
That is
as opposed to the usual $99.99.
What do you get? What do you get for $49.99?
Yeah,
a lot.
Actually, let me take a look real quick. I'll bring that up in Steam.
Yeah,
it will tell you.
Because I think most things I quickly glanced. And I'm trying to remember what it was. I think most things were around like 600 coins, if I'm not mistaken. At least like some of the mounts and things. And I was like, is that $6? Is that like,
right. How much is that
$60?
IRL?
So
yeah.
what do we got here? So the the smallest one, 199, will get you 320 coins, and the big pack, the big spender pack, will get you 8,800 coins.
Oh,
800. Okay.
That's quite a few skins because I think most of them were like 600 coins. So
it's gonna get
Yeah,
you
I'm
almost
trying-
everything right now, right?
So it's like almost $4 for a mount is what it sounds like, at least for the 600. You'd have to at least spend $4 is what it seems like. So I can't complain because Fortnite really like rakes you over the coals for that kind of stuff. Like one skin in Fortnite is like pretty much I think $6 bare minimum. So I guess I'm not too upset, but
And we didn't look at the store. I don't know if anybody's looked at the store.
I did a little bit.
Fortnite does that crap where you don't get to choose what you want. Like only a certain number of things are in rotation. At any time.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe they might.
If
do
this
that
is just a
rotation thing.
catalog, if this is just like here's what we're offering, buy what you want. Like okay, sure. I don't
it
know
looked
why
like
in
a
that
catalog
case
from what I saw.
they need to do the
They might do
coin
seasonal
thing. Like,
things.
That's
maybe.
kind of what
Just-
it just came out.
just let me
so,
drop
yeah.
some money on it. Like
Yeah.
why do we need to convert to coin currency?
Yeah, I
know.
know. It's so obnoxious. Just tell me how much it costs. Come on.
I wonder if they do that for ease of like different currency in real life. Like instead of it being like, oh, it's this and this
like
amount,
the
this and that
exchange
amount,
rate?
exchange rates. It's just easier to be like, here's mine coin.
Yeah,
Maybe. Okay.
That's true.
That's the only thing I could think of.
That is the
but
most sense I've ever heard made of that, so I'm willing
Actually-
to accept
Damn
it.
it, Chad, stop.
yeah.
I know one thing, secret sneaky thing about, and I don't remember if this was part of the lawsuit about Fortnite and V-Bucks, but one of the things that is about that is people buy V-Bucks and they don't use them all. So it's a lot like when you have gift cards, it's a giant scam because people don't use all of the gift card or they don't use it at all, and the company just like gets that $50 or stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with this currency. Like if people don't use the full like $20 V-Bucks and then they don't ever use it, well, you spent money and they get to keep it in their pockets.
That's
and that
why they
happens, like,
never
1
give
billion
you
times.
enough coins in one transaction to get what you
Yep.
want. I
That's
hate
what I was
that.
about to say. That makes me so mad. Yeah.
It's a little scammy, so I will note that. And now we're back with the gameplay, the meat and taters, as we call it here. And this game is a little bit different, like we mentioned. This compared to the previous Minecraft, and even compared to Dungeons, the Minecraft Dungeons. This is more of like taking like an action strategy RTS game a little bit. Like I don't even know what else to compare it to other than like I keep thinking StarCraft.
I do. I know
What?
what to compare it to.
Compare it, please.
It's exactly like Brutal Legend.
Oh yes, you did say that when we were talking before.
It's you're an agent on the field. You're not just like some commander overhead directing units. You have agency on the field. You got your spawners, which in Brutal Legend was a stage, but in this one you can just put them wherever you want. You can rally your troops, send them where they need to go. You have different units that do different things. It's kind of like a light RTS,
Yeah.
but so was the only thing that Brutal Legend did that this one kind of separates is you're getting most of your supplies before the battle. You have to like go out and scrounge for supplies, whereas in Brutal Legend you had to set up your merch booths over the fan geysers, but you could only do it in the battle mode. You didn't have any prep time to be able to do that, to kind of like stockpile stuff.
Yeah, that in this game, and we'll get into it a little bit. It's very Minecraft. You have resource gathering. Like that's. I mean, I think they kept to the crux of Minecraft was on the resource gathering part of it. So, yeah, I can see that like kind of different. But that's interesting. I've never played Brutal Legends. I do remember that. That's a Jack Black game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Double Fine, Tim Schafer, of Psychonauts. Like
It's great.
can't go wrong.
Got a great catalog right there of stuff then. But a little bit of the controls on the game, like so. And Tab, you can help me out here a little bit because I was doing really bad at the controls. So basically, like traditional like moving around, but you also had to like take your characters and your little mobs, if you will, and you had to control them by sending them different places. And I believe it was like Q to kind of rally them up, and then you can kind of just like direct them in a way. And then you could also like shoo them with a giant sword, which we learned Tim had to tell us. We were sitting there like attacking buildings with our little golems, and apparently we were doing nothing. We're just sitting there swinging away the whole time. So you really have to rely on your mobs to do like specific type of damage. The only thing I got really confused about, maybe you can help me with, Tab, is like you have to press R, which takes you to like a different hotbar. Like there was some confusion there with like switching between different types of resource gathering and then building. Like can you help me with that a little bit?
So in kind of traditional Minecraft fashion, imagine that the R is like your inventory, if you will. So you pull it up and you have a hotbar and you have only so many slots on your hotbar, but you have multiple options of mobs or things to build, defenses and things. So eventually you're going to get more than will fit on your hotbar. So R brings up your book, which will have your inventory with all of that stuff, and then you can swap them and move them on your hotbar as needed. But it is a tad confusing at first.
Well, yeah, you open it and it's just like, here are 15 pages of things you could do. And you're like, what? But I mean, I guess I can understand like having that hotbar option just like in traditional Minecraft. But the thing that confused me is there's like several different types of hotbars. There's like your mob hotbar. There's your resource gathering hotbar, which I'll tack onto that a bit, and how I find that one in particular kind of annoying. And then they have like, that other thing where it's like, now you have your building hotbar of like the different types of structures you can build. And I'll quickly go over some of the structures that we know that we can build. Like there's some that like increase your builders, like your allies. There's some that can increase your army. There's some that are traps that you can put out. And then there are redstone cannons and things like that. And then obviously like walls and, more defensive things that you can put out there. There's like a ton of different building things that you can add on it. And then obviously things that you have to do to like progress throughout and help with the villages as well. But I got really irritated with the resource gathering hotbar because I kept forgetting that I had to switch between wood and stone, which are two different resource materials. And I kept trying to like gather. I was like, oh, let me just gather this tree right here. And then I was like, but I was on the stone material. And I kept telling me like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And I don't know why it just doesn't collect anything within that field that you can collect. Like if there's stone and wood, I don't know.
It does have an upgrade eventually. I hit.
Oh, really?
Where you can choose that they will collect both. I got to where it was stone and wood, but it does collect things slower. But it will collect everything. So if you want wood more than stone, just have them collect the wood versus the stone. But there is an option for that eventually, but it's not right away.
Got it. So there is a mechanic. I hate when
But
games
you don't get it
prove me
right
wrong.
away. You gotta wait.
That's true. I was so
You gotta
frustrated
earn
because I did like 5 times on accident.
At least it's not something where, because there's a lot of times in upgrade trees where you'll start off gimped and then work your way to a basic level of competency and then get a little bit of bonus on top of that.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like that. Like you start off pretty well, like maybe it's a little bit irritating to select stone and wood, but it's like whatever. But then then you get like really powerful as you're moving up the tree.
I think the only thing that I'll, as David's term said, gimped me, I think in particular, is the amount of mobs you can have. You're capped at 20 at the beginning. But we did discover that you can gather anything. Like as long as they're like in the overworld, you can get wolves if they're just walking around. You can just gather them. You just can't summon any more than 20. So we had like 500 wolves or something.
That was a lot. You had a lot of
pack,
stuff trailing behind you there.
I found a pack. I found a bunch of llamas. I found a duck.
Did you ever
chicken or
test those to see if they will join you in combat, though?
They did. Well, they did, but they went to start, and then the cutscene happened, and then for some reason it reset, and it only switched to zombies and such like that.
That's what I'm
because
curious
we got
about.
all of those other mobs to come in, so it possibly did despawn all that stuff you brought.
I think it did.
But also,
that's
just
true.
before that cutscene triggered, there were a few wolves that got shot from the arrow towers, and they got the little panic
alert
lines above their head and ran away. They just they
Well,
like
some of them
started
ran
moving in the
towards
other
it.
direction. Did they? Okay.
Yeah, the one that I was like, what's going on? Ran towards them. I don't know if that was away necessarily. So maybe they were panicking. So I don't know if they can actually attack. But one was actually running towards what was shooting it, I thought. But I could be mistaken there.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess that is something. I don't know if the wolves and animals can attack. Maybe they just follow you for companionship.
Moral support.
Yeah, moral
There you
support.
go.
Like, I need my emotional support pack. Imagine taking that on the plane.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, the allays. So a little bit about the mobs you can summon. So the allays you have, they collect materials, whether it be stone, iron, things like that. And then they're also used for building, which is the stuff that we talked about before, all those different things. But then there are a myriad of golems, and the only ones that we got so far are like the stone golems, which they're like punchy boys. They do like the fist fight, and they're like up close and personal. Then there's like the wood golems, which are like arrow guys. They're more ranged. Grindstone golems, which I guess like stun enemies. They're really good for ranged, from what I hear. And then mossy golems, which are like to heal your mob. So like if it's just something to have a few of those around, just keep your golems going. Granted, our mossy golem got stomped immediately. Like, they just walked in by itself in a corner, and the piglin's like, "Get him!" and just wrecked him.
As the healer, you got to stay in those back lines.
Yeah.
Well,
It's true.
he didn't. Well, it's just because like when you walk into one of those like zones, the corrupted zones, they could just spawn in the spawners, and he was just in a very unfortunate spot. And it just kind of took him out, but. Additionally, maybe I don't remember them all, but like you can get zombies, skeletons, and creepers also on your side. So it's basically the overworld completely versus the Nether, which is kind of nice. So like you get the little creepers who Tim. I don't know if it was the nicest way of putting them. Call them suicide bombers, essentially, which is what they are.
That's what they do. They go in and they blow stuff up.
That is what they do.
They just kind of run in and explode. Give you hugs, as I believe Tab said it.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, they are really cute.
They're just spicy.
They're
so
loving and spicy. But the one thing I'll note, and I don't know, Tab, if you felt the same way, is the AI felt a bit finicky at times. Like, I felt like they didn't always listen, and it was kind of hard to control a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes it was hard to tell if it was me messing up or them. I'd like to think it's them and not me, but sometimes though it seemed a little like there was a miscommunication sometimes.
There were just times of where like, why aren't you following me, or why aren't you going the direction I pointed you in? And there's a few times where I thought I had everyone follow me, and then they're just standing there supervising the other golems in the corner.
You're
Very
doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, keep going, guys. You can do it. But yeah, so other than that, which may be like upgradable in the future with Mojang, they're pretty good about keeping up, especially if they're again planning to do all these monthly updates. I think this game will just get better with the tweaks and maybe even some like quality of life things as players come in with maybe different suggestions. I'm hoping, because there's a few things that I didn't run into in particular where I had a better suggestion of how to fix it, but just like, again, like quality of life things might be easier. I do know a few people in the multiplayer version said that they had some thoughts when I was watching on there, which is a whole different ball of wax, which we can get into later. But I do want to get into the different types of enemies. And Tab, you know way more about the enemies because you got further than us. Can you take us through a couple of the different types that you saw?
Yeah. I mean, it starts out with it's mostly like those small piglins, and some of them are ranged, some of them are melee. Not too bad. But as I was progressing, which I didn't get too far, I played a couple hours into the game. Some of them started having like stronger projectiles. Some of them started throwing explosives at me, and some of them were much faster. So it did start upping in like kind of quickly, in my opinion. And I was starting to get a little overwhelmed, but I think it's just because it's just getting familiar with the game and understanding my defenses and this stuff. But yeah, it definitely, there's going to be, I feel like you said earlier, each mob and each defense and each even mount is going to be helpful depending on which horde you're attacking because they come from different parts of the Nether. So each one has a different challenge. Yeah. So some of them are like from the warped forest, which offers like more poison and stuff. And some of them are just more traditional Nether, which is more lava and magma. I haven't messed with it. I think there's a third one. I'm trying to remember. I haven't gotten that quite that far
Crimson,
yet.
probably.
It could be, yeah. And they're each a little different though. And they each offer a different challenge. So I'm sure that the mounts, because I haven't gotten that far, but I'm sure each one's going to, obviously there's going to be a special build you're going to want to use. It's going to be most effective.
Okay.
That's interesting. I didn't think about the fact that you'd want different builds, like obviously the golems and things like that. But yeah, having a specific mount matched with a specific, golems / mobs that you carry around. I didn't even think of that side of the game. So
that just gives me more hope for the game, though, because it just based on, a cursory glance as someone who is watching instead of playing, it looks incredibly simple.
Right.
I mean, overall, outside of like the hardness of like, just understanding everything, because it's a lot. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is a kid's game. Technically, it's Minecraft. It's a lot. Like, I feel like if I was 10, I would have struggled with this, like, for a good few hours before I got how this game works.
No, it's no
I am
Path of
glad, though,
Exile or
we got to see that a little bit, because that last, like, Nether portal battle, up until then, it had just been, like, piglins and maybe a slightly larger piglin. But in that last Nether portal battle, we had that one roly-poly armored guy. There was that giant hog that was just like stomping around.
Yeah.
There was those the one that had like a mohawk with like the warthog face. It was like, I don't know if it was like crying fire or that's just what its eyes looked like. It was like this really intimidating just animal.
There's a lot of really interesting things on that one for sure, but a couple things I do want to bring up about that is like when we go into the enemy bunkers, you actually have to you have to use specific mobs to go in and fight and destroy their bunkers, and that's kind of the whole thing. There's two sets. There's either defend the village where the enemies are coming to you, kind of like a traditional raid you'd see in like Minecraft, and then there's the opposite where you have to go and like take down the enemy bunkers, which David and Tab were talking about. But then there's also like in the combat, there's banners, which is how you, it was confusing. And I think me and you, Tab, were both a little confused at first how it works, but it's how you tell your mobs where to go. And that's the part I think is the most confusing and not necessarily intuitive. Because you can either send individual ones, like I could send like an individual mob over there, but you have to like scroll. Not only do you have to like hold down a button to open it, you also have to scroll between or like push buttons to go to which mob you want to go to, and then you have to either click or hold down to send mobs, which I was like, that seems like way too much. It's like there's like 5 different buttons I have to press just to do that. And it was just much easier to press Q, rally everybody in, and then be like, attack, push forward, that kind of thing. So I think that was the part that I didn't care for the most, was the individualized mob control. I wish there was a little bit easier way to do it. There probably maybe is later.
I can also see that might be a slight limitation on your keyboard and mouse choice, because I could easily see that whole unit thing on a controller just being tap tap on the D-pad, tap tap over, up, send those, tap down, tap tap, send the other one.
Yeah,
it might be. Well, you'd think though it'd be less or easier on the the keyboard, since there's more like button options, but I don't know.
It's
There's
not
more
necessarily
buttons, but
wrong.
you
Q and
don't
E.
have access to as many. Like you have to move your hand.
Yeah.
right. I was
Like,
going to
you
say
have to
it's
move
moving
over
your
and, like,
hand
select that
around.
one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Because like
It's
on
just
the controller, you've got all of these right here.
Right.
You can just like hold a button, command those, tap over.
I see what
command.
you're saying. Like, so
You
I
could
could
do,
put
like,
R to trigger.
Send 3 commands way faster on the controller than you could, at least on the default keyboard setup. You could probably rebind some stuff to make it easier.
That's what I was going to say. Probably
makes
set up
sense.
some hotkeys wherever,
Yeah.
so less movement. And I think it's just a learning. I think it's just getting used to it. I've not played a game where I have to move troops. I've seen plenty of games. You were talking about like Brutal Legends and stuff earlier. Like I've watched a lot of gameplay with that, but I've never actually played it myself. So I think it's just the more I was playing it, it became a little bit easier. And I think once you get the hang of it and you start understanding it, it's going to go fast. It'll be, you know, that it's just second nature.
And maybe it's that's it. Maybe it's just like I'm picking at strings here because it just seems so foreign to me. And maybe I'm, again, the odd man out. I don't know. Tim, I don't know if you have any experience in other games that are similar.
RTS games? Yeah.
Well, this kind of style. I played like StarCraft,
it's the same
but
thing.
that's more point and click.
No, it is not.
I mean, to me, it was. That's how I played.
Yeah, if you get your keyboard controls down, you will be able to play the game efficiently.
Of course, it didn't. I
yes.
use mouse 100% in StarCraft. That's
Yeah,
all
you
I
can
did.
do that, but no, if you do that, you're gonna get yourself absolutely destroyed by someone who knows what they're doing.
It's also why I was terrible at World of Warcraft because I only used mouse and clicks, and everyone hated me for it because I was so slow. But it's so much more fun that way.
It's a valid way to play. You're just not going to be competitive if you're in arenas. It doesn't matter in the overworld. It does not matter.
I guess. I mean, and I guess that's my complaint here is like, do you think there's too many options? Like, no?
I
There's
don't
not
think
too
so.
much?
No, not in comparison to other games. This is very simple. It's kind of like Minecraft Dungeons. I really like that game, and people were like, "Have you ever played Diablo?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Well, it's nothing like that, but it's kind of like that, but it's nothing like that." And I'm like, "Okay."
Great selling point, guys.
Yeah, I know. They were like, "It's just a very, very simple version of that." And I was like, "Well, I like simple, so I'm gonna stick with simple." So that's what I imagine.
Yeah.
This is just a very, very simple version of, you know, like StarCraft or whatever you're talking about.
I was actually
very
surprised
simple.
about how much information they were giving you, just like
It
in the
felt
UI.
like a lot.
Yeah, they
Because
really
they
walk you
had
through it.
your allies, you know, you had each one, how many you had, how many you could send out.
Yeah.
So that total went down as they were being used. But then also on that icon bar, there was a progress meter showing you how long they had until they had mined everything they could. And I probably wouldn't have thought to even like look at that while playing. It's not like, oh, I have the resources now, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's nice that that information is there.
I think that actually, I want to bring this up now. The multiplayer side, that actually becomes very important because you have to kind of divvy up tasks. So in multiplayer, it's played a little bit differently. So in that one, you have your well house, and each team, there's two teams, has to build and defend their well house. And so you build all your stuff, and a lot of times what you do is you send one person to gather resources, one person has to fight piglins and stuff to kind of get the loot, which is like the lapis and prismarine, and then other people are like, offense and defense, however you choose. And so you kind of have to divvy it up, and like everybody's collecting resources at the same time, so you can see everybody's stuff. So you could be like, oh, but you don't know whose is whose. So you could be like, oh, someone's allies aren't doing something. And that's a nice thing to know. And that's something you could like, so if Tab was playing and she thought I wasn't doing it, it's like, oh, hey, make sure you're collecting stuff. You could remind me or remind the group. You don't know exactly who it is, but you could say, oh, I'm not, someone's not collecting. It's just like, oh, sorry, it's me. It's just like, it's another communication device in the game, which I think is pretty cool, especially for like multiplayer 4v4, which honestly looks very fun, and I really wish we played a little bit, but and I could see that being an esport if like it got really big. Like it was very competitive, and they're very long. They can probably last up to a half hour, 45 minutes, much like League of Legends rounds.
I hope it doesn't get as toxic as League.
The Minecraft community plus League of Legends community sounds like toxicity in a bag.
That would be awful.
Oh man.
And now it's time for the final say. Will we continue Minecraft Legends? And since Tab and I both played the game, we will be going last. And since she's a special guest, we'll leave her the special ender of it all. But we'll start with Tim. Minecraft Legends, Tim, would you continue?
I was actually kind of on the fence with this, but Tab
Really?
kind of saved my opinion. Yeah, I was originally going to say no because it looks so simple. I don't think it would hold my attention. But like, based on what she explained about how things start to get a little bit more advanced later on, I'm sure the game's still semi-simple, but it sounds like there's more going on later than what I had originally thought was going to be happening. So based mostly on that, I would continue. Yeah, I love Minecraft, and really big fan of RTS games in general. And it looks fun. It just, like, it looked a little too simple based on what we played to, like, hold my attention. But, like, if it gets a little bit more difficult, and I know there's difficulty settings, so maybe that's just something to play with
There
too.
is a very like hard setting in there. Apparently, like we were on setting 2 of 4 or 5.
Right.
I can't remember.
And like I notice it'll change how many resources you get, because like on the mode you were playing on, it seems like you can just cap your resources immediately and just go do whatever you want, as opposed to having to actually control your resources. But it looks fun. It does, and I realistically would probably like play the game at least to a small degree, but like I think this is one I could finish. I do.
Okay. All right. David, Minecraft Legends, would you continue?
I'm in pretty much the exact same boat. I would love to continue this. And I think especially this type of game exemplifies why we still need demos. Because if I had just, seen Minecraft Legends, oh, it's an RTS game, whatever, maybe sometime. But just watching you two play and like, yeah, I'm sold. Just from watching that. I want to play this game now.
You always play demos, and you're one person who always like sends me demos, and I'm always appreciative of like when a demo is like I'm on the fence, and I'm like, oh, actually this swayed me to purchase or not purchase the game. So honestly, I'm in the same boat with you. I think I don't know if they did a demo for this game in particular necessarily, but I kind of encouraged them to at least do up to like the first battle, kind of like what we did.
Even if it was just that tutorial section.
Yeah,
it was like,
just get the tutorial.
Or maybe cut it back 1 or 2 because you did like the what is it? They're like
village.
Base. You just demolished. Do like the village, the base, and then either stop after that or let you do that Nether portal battle.
I think the Nether portal battle is nice because that was it was much different than the rest of the battles that we had, and it definitely changed my mind.
And it's like it'll show you more of what's coming.
Yeah, 100%. Will I continue Minecraft Legends? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I think this game is a lot of fun. As much as I kind of harped on a few things where it was like a little confusing, I think, like Tab mentioned, it's just a learning curve. I'm not used to this type of game. I'm used to StarCraft. Again, I'm a point and click StarCraft player. So that makes a big difference, I guess. But I think if I just get used to the controls a bit, the one thing I'm really excited about, and I want to play more, is the 4v4 multiplayer, and I'm really excited to play that. I was watching a lot of people play it, and that looks the most fun to me out of everything. Like I'll play the base game, but that's where I really will probably spend most of my time, is probably like trying. I think the thing is finding 8 people to play it. I mean, you don't need 4 people. You could do like 3 versus 4, whatever. So if you don't have a full team, you can still play as long as you have other people to play with. But yeah, I think that's where it's at. So I'm 100% in, 100%. And Miss Tab, Minecraft Legends, would you continue?
Yeah, I think so. I have a lot of the same things that you guys say. It's fun. It's simple, but it challenges me a little bit because I'm not used to this style of game, and I enjoy trying to expand my knowledge. And I think that this is a really good game to introduce you into it, because it's not too much. Like I did have points, like you said, where I was like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? How do I do this? But I didn't feel overwhelmed at any point, because it was just they walked you through a lot of it. So I don't have a ton of questions. I think it's just more like I got to get a feel for it and I got to play it. And I look forward to moving past. Like I said, I've only got a couple hours into the game. So I'm really curious to see how it progresses and how challenging it's going to be. And also the multiplayer looks like a lot of fun. And I want to try the monthly challenge.
Yes.
When
that first comes out.
The myths or whatever. Is it out yet or not? That part.
The first one is. You can play the first myth. Yeah. It is out. I forget what it's called, but there is the first myth.
It's like a survival horde mode, this one.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. So that is very exciting. And I like what you said about that. This is, I'm going to call it a gateway RTS, really, for anyone who isn't like experienced in RTS and they kind of don't want it's a lot to go into, like a StarCraft or something like that. So this is a nice way to kind of like get your bearing, understand how the idea works, and then go from there. So I 100% agree with you right there. And if you want to play the game, well, one thing it is $39.99, so it's actually not a bad price. It's, usually games are hitting that $79.99 price tag now.
Yeah.
So this won't hurt the wallet too bad. But it is available on Microsoft, Xbox One, S and X, so they're going back a little bit, the PlayStation 4 and 5. But the nice thing about the Xbox side is if you have Xbox Game Pass subscription, it is included. So if you have that already, you don't have to pay anything extra. So it's just there on there, much like Minecraft is. So you just have to connect your Minecraft account to Microsoft and you're good to go. And you can open it right in the launcher right there. So pretty easy. Yeah, and Tab, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure having you, and maybe we'll have you on again soon. But for those who don't know where to find you, can you let everyone know where to find you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you head on over to Twitch, I am there. Twitch.tv/Tab Twice. I stream Monday through Friday. I'm always around. I'm either cooking or gaming or crafting. I do a little bit of everything, but mostly gaming.
And if you come in the next couple weeks, she's going to be cooking farts.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm not even going to go. I'm not going to advance on that.
No, we're not. You're just going to have to tune in to find out what in the world that means.
And I'm not even kidding. There's actually something called farts that she's going to cook. So you'll have to go
out of a new
find
cookbook I got that I promise is not 18 plus.
Yeah, kids are welcome. Well, kids are sometimes parental advisory.
Yeah, PG-13 on a good day.
But your community can be a little PG-13, but
it's them, not me. I promise.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm an angel. What can I say?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching or listening to the First 30. And if you're listening, remember this is a video podcast, and you can find it at youtube.com/@First30Podcast.